Okay, let's talk about the specific recommendation about each node. The first node on which we will talk about is the monitor node, which should embed the monitor daemon and the manager daemon. Okay, for this node, you can have at least 4 logical cores for this node, and for RAM 25 gigabyte at least for per daemon. Okay, so try to provision this one. Concerning the disk space, at least 60 gigabyte for the /var label /mon should be designing by this way, and this will be in inside an SSD. Okay, this 60 gigabyte of sizing for this space will be configured over an SSD just for a very fast monitor daemon for inside the cluster. Okay, and this will be configured as a red one just to bypass any issue if you want disk fields or anything like that. Okay, and regarding networks, we already talked about. It should be connected on public networks for redundancy purpose, so you can bond in your interface. Okay, 2 interface bonding inside for one interface in production environment, just so for redundancy parts. We will now talk about the self-WSD node. The self-WSD node should be connected to on row 2 networks, mandatory, important. Okay, the public network and the cluster networks. Each node should be connected. It should be in bonding interface. Okay, for each node, for each network, 2 interfaces bonding in configuration sites. Okay, regarding the CPU, if you want to, from 1,000 to 3,000 IOPS, you should provision 1 core. Okay, concerning the RAM, it is advised to have at least 16 gig of RAM for the host. For the host, which embed all the OSDs or all the mechanical hard drive, if you have at least 16 gig of RAM. For each self-OSD daemon, you should have at least 4 gigabyte of RAM for each self-OSD daemon. Okay, it is important just to follow the advices. And for the volume, I already mentioned, one self daemon should use with one self hard drive. Okay, don't use up a logical volume and so on for the data storage. Okay, you should have one mechanical hard drive or SSD for the storage. Okay, don't mutualize those one. Okay, and as already mentioned, at least you should have an OD number of monitor inside your cluster. Okay, OD number means that 3, 5, or 7. Okay, number of cluster inside your cluster storage. Concerning the metadata server, 2.5 GHz for the CPU, or you can have at least 2 core. Okay, for the processor. For the RAM, 3 gig of RAM can be provisioned for the RAM. And concerning the network, this one should be connected on the public network, or as already mentioned, and with a bonding interface from the port switch, if possible, from your side in your gadget. Okay. For the Redis gateway, just provision for the object gateway backend storage for the client, you should configure 8 CPU. Okay, CPU or 8 core for the central processing unit to mandatory. Just for this one is very CPU intensive also, so try to provisioning 8 CPU for this point. Okay, and concerning the random accessible memory, you can provision 64 gig of RAM for this node. Okay, and this node should be connected on the public networks, and this public network this node have to have at least two interfaces configured and bounding. Okay. Last point is the ISCSI node. If you want to have this node inside the cluster, the parameters is not so huge, but 8 CPU cores for the CPU and 16 gigabyte gig of RAM should be configured inside for this node. Important. And network, just one network is sufficient. The public network, you should configure it over the public network in one interface. Okay. So thank you very much. We cover a lot of things for in this point. I hope that it helps you, and feel free to comment how the video and leave some message and ask for a better understanding on this lesson. Okay, thank you very much and see you for the next point. Take care. Bye.